Hello, welcome to Project Crossover. So Project Crossover for the Year 11s at my school. We've got some questions that appear on the foundation and the higher, and I'm going through those to help all of our classes. We start off today, we're on January 2021. This is paper one, and it's the non-regional because we do iGCSE. So this one is the non-regional. Okay, let's get started. See if I can get these done in 15 minutes. There's the foundation. Formula sheet, and we've got here. So I wrote down this is question 1 on the higher, but this is question 17 on the foundation. What have we got here? It's 4 marks. So Peter owns a currency conversion shop. Last Monday, Peter changed a total of 20,160 Rand into a number of different currencies. Changed 3/10 to euros. Change the rest to dollars, rupees, and francs in that ratio. Okay, so first of all, 0.3 times by 6. So I'm going to work out how many he changed to euros, first of all. Okay, so that gives us 6,048. Then I need to do a subtraction. 6048. Take away 6048. That tells me what's left. 14112. Change the rest into that. Peter changed more rands into dollars than he changed into francs. How many more? So that's how many he changed into rands, or from rands into euros. Dollars and francs, that's dollars, that's francs. So actually I don't need to do I need to do too much? I don't. So one share, 14112 divided by 9 plus 5 plus 2. And that's how we would start to share in a given ratio. So that's 16. Shift answer, divide by 16. I guess what's tricky about this is how wordy it is. So that's one share. Now, what we could do is we could times by 9, times by 2, and then subtract. But 9 shares minus 2 shares equals 7 shares. So we can do 882 times by 7. And that gives me 6,174. And that's my final answer. Okay, so 6,174 Rand more that was converted into dollars than it was into francs. Dollars and francs, good. Right, question 2. Yeah, classes, this comes up a lot. I've noticed from going through these past papers. Table gives information about the speeds in kilometers per hour of 80 motorbikes as each pass under a bridge. The modal class, that's the one with the most frequency. And that's going to be this one here, 70. S, and then 80. Right, write out an estimate for the mean. Give your answer to 3 significant figures. The first thing we need is the midpoint because we have grouped data. So we don't have accurate values. We only have numbers that are in a group. So our midpoints are going to be just in between the boundaries. If you want to know how I'm working these out, you can add the 2 numbers together and divide by 2. But because I've done a lot of maths, I know what they are. This is f, this is x. So now we're going to do f of x. So we're going to times the midpoint by the frequency, getting an estimate. 16 times by 55, an estimate of what all these values will add up to. Remember, it's only an estimate because we don't have the actual figures. 1725, 1020. We then need to add them all up. That's the sum of fx. So 450 plus 880 plus 1235 plus 1725 plus 1020. And that gives me 5,310. All of these added up, the sum of the f's equals 80. And then we need to do 5310 divided by 80. 66.375, and then to 3 significant figures. That's 1, that's 2, that's 3. So we're rounding it to 1 decimal place. It'll be 66.4. Please always put your answers on the answer line. It tells the examiners exactly what your answer is and where we can mark your working from there. Okay, question 3. The diagram shows a container for water in the shape of a prism. The rectangular base of the prism shown shaded in the diagram is horizontal. The container is completely full of water, so this might be a volume question. Tua is going to use a pump to empty the water from the container, so the volume of the water in the container decreases at a constant rate. The pump starts to empty the water from the container at 10:30, and at 12 o'clock, the water level in the container has dropped by 20 centimeters. Find the time at which all of the water has been pumped out of the container. Okay, right, first thing I want to know is the volume of everything. So I want the volume of that shape. So I'm going to need the face area times by 125, which will give me all of that. So we've got in here, that's 20 by 30, and this bit's going to be 40 by 85. So 40 times 85, 3400. 30 times 20, 600. I'm leaving it all in centimeters because I want to have centimeters cubed when I'm done. That gives 4,000. So 4,000 times by 125 equals 500,000 centimeters cubed. Okay, the level of the water has dropped by 20, which means that 600 times by 125 has gone. So 75000 is gone in 1.5 hours. How do I know that? Because it's dropped by 20 centimeters. So it's come from here down into here. So now we know the rate that that's going to disappear. I'm going to actually just convert this now. So 1 hour. And I'm going to do this because this is like 3 over 2. So I'm going to sort of divide it by 3. 75000 divide by 3 times by 2. That gives me 50,000. So it's 50,000 centimeters cubed per hour. And then, of course, that's a nice simple calculation. 500,000 divided by 50,000 gives me 10 hours. And then the container started to empty. Oh, get rid of that dot. Started to empty at 10:30, 10 hours time, it's 20:30. Does it want it in any particular format? No, we just keep it in the context of the question and we should be okay. Nasty that, especially with all the words. Practice these questions. Okay, question 20. This is question 4 on the hire. I might have to split this into 2 videos to be fair. We've got A is the odd numbers and B is the multiples of 3. List all the numbers or the members of the set A in section B. So this is both A and B. So odd numbers and multiples of 3 are 21, not 24, and then 27. So we have 21 and 27. A union B means A or it's in B, or it can be both, whatever you want. So I'm just going to change the color of my pen. So we'll just put that tick there to indicate it. 20 is not a multiple of 3, nor is it an odd number, but we've got yes, no, yep, that's odd. That's a multiple of 3. That's odd, not a multiple of 3. That's both. And then 29. So we should have 21, 23, 24, 25, 27, and 29. Okay, just for in reference as well, this one in here is A intersection B, and then all of this within here is A union B. Right, question 5, factorize fully. So I can get a y cubed out of both of these. But what I can't do is I can't divide by u because there's no u in the first term. The highest number I can divide these both by is a 5. So that comes out as well. Okay, 15 divided by 5 is 3, and then y to the 4 divided by y cubed is y, and then 20 divided by 5 is 4, and then y cubed divided by y cubed is just 1, leaving a 4u. Now, if you look inside the bracket when you do one of these factorizations, you can double check whether there's anything else that it can be divided by inside. If it can, then it's not fully factorized, and you've got to take that just a little bit further. Okay, for part B, I'm going to start by multiplying by 4 on both sides. So 4 times 4, 16, take away 3 times 4, 12x, equals 5 minus 8x. I do not like to have negative x's, and my biggest negative x is minus 12x. So we're going to add 12x to both sides. 16 equals 5 plus 4x. Then we take away 5 from both sides. 11 equals 4x. And then finally we divide it by 4. And then if we wanted to put that in our calculator to get a decimal value, it's 2.75, but I'd be happy to leave that as 11 over 4. Not a problem, unless it says that you need to put that in. Okay, I'm going to stop the video now, and I'll come back for questions 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 for part 2. See you there.